Imagine putting all of your work into attempting to gain a woman's respect, only to watch it evaporate in spite of your best attempts. Many men make the grave error of thinking that the best ways to win a lady over are by unending generosity, lavish presents, and unceasing attention. However, the reality is somewhat different. This strategy might swiftly cause your own emotional collapse, in addition to failing to accomplish your aim. We're going to address this myth head-on in this video by combining Stoic philosophy with some really useful advice. We'll explore how you can uphold your dignity and be loyal to yourself while ending a woman's disdain and making her sincerely regret her actions. It's not about searching for or playing games. Setting firm limits and regaining your self-respect are key components of revenge. Get ready to defy expectations and learn how to take charge of your circumstances. If you're prepared to take back control of your life and demand the respect you are due, click the like button. This is not for the timid. It's for those who are prepared to adopt a Stoic mindset and change the way they deal with others. Subscribe and join us as we explore the path to ending contempt and restoring your self-worth. Now, let's begin. Number 1, the well has been depleted. Let's not beat around the bush. It's time for some real talk. You are the one responsible for the way this woman has come to disrespect you. How by treating her like she's on a pedestal, showering her with gifts, endless attention, and promises that have no substance, you've convinced yourself that by doing these things, you'll somehow regain the respect that she's long since thrown away. But here's the cold, hard truth. This approach is not only misguided, but doomed to fail each time you spend your hard-earned money to cater to her whims, each time you bend over backward to please her. You're sending a clear message. You're teaching her that she can manipulate you without any effort through your actions. You're telling her that all she has to do is show a little indifference, maybe a touch of coldness, and you'll come running eager to offer more. She's learned that she can get what she wants with minimal effort simply by exploiting your desire for her approval. And trust me, she will keep exploiting this as long as you allow it from a Stoic perspective. This conduct is not only damaging to yourself, but it also represents a loss of self-worth and authority. St. Chisholm teaches us the importance of self-respect and the futility of receiving external affirmation, particularly from someone who doesn't esteem us. If you continue to fuel this dynamic, a woman who demands bribes in exchange for respect is not merely playing games. Rather, she is manipulating you and understands exactly what she is doing. How can you break free from this cycle of emotional dependency? The solution is to adopt a Stoic attitude and stop wasting your time, money, and energy on someone who obviously doesn't appreciate. When you drain the well by stopping the supply, you take away her ability to control you. When she realizes that her strategies are failing, she will be left perplexed and unsure of what to do next. She will begin to wonder why you aren't responding to her cues, which is when the power dynamic changes in your favor. A man who is Stoic and can distinguish between genuine interest and interest driven by material gain is difficult to fool. You must acquire this emotional insight and put it into practice right away. If you refuse to follow this path, you're not only shielding yourself from more disrespect, but also regaining your dignity. If you keep trying to buy her affection and respect, you're setting yourself up for a life of unrelenting disappointment and disrespect. She will continue to treat you poorly because she knows she can get away with it whenever she wants something. Number 2, showing indifference. From a young age, we are taught that rewarding good behavior and disregarding undesirable behavior is essential in many facets of life, including handling human relationships and training pets. This is a true principle, but a lot of men forget it when it comes to romantic relationships, especially when a woman starts to treat them disrespectfully. Let's take a moment to consider Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes self-control, inner strength, and the power of your own mind. When a woman starts treating you poorly, what is your instinctive response? For many men, it's to chase after her desperately, trying to regain what they believe is slipping away. This is where a critical error is made. Instead of reacting emotionally, imagine this. You're dating someone who treats you with contempt and belittles you. Your natural reaction might be to try harder to win her approval in the hopes that this will mend the relationship. But in reality, all it does is encourage her bad behavior. In essence, you're telling her that you'll always be there to validate her, which is a big mistake in the eyes of a Stoic instead. Accept indifference to her rude behavior, as well as to the person she is evolving into in the relationship. By doing this, you make her face a reality for which she is unprepared. No one, especially someone who is used to being in charge, enjoys to be ignored. When you do this, you bring about a significant shift in her mindset. Her attempts to control or minimize you are pushing you further away rather than bringing you closer. And this is where the real transformation occurs. The more you withhold your attention, the more control you regain over the situation. She starts to realize that her strategies, which may have been supported by friends or self-proclaimed relationship experts, are failing her. She begins to see that her actions are pushing you away rather than disciplining you. This insight can be a potent catalyst for change. Rather than acting differently because she has suddenly gained respect for you, she might start to consider her behavior in light of the chance that she might lose you. It's up to her to show that she values and respects you, because if she doesn't, you will be perfectly content to move on, confident in your own worth. In this way, you embody the Stoic principles of self-respect, inner strength, and emotional control. You refuse to be manipulated or disregarded. And in doing so, you not only regain your power, but also earn the respect you deserve. If you want a woman to regret not respecting you, the strategy is simple yet profound. Stop giving your attention to those who don't deserve it. Show her that you are not someone to be taken for granted or controlled at her whim. The third step is to reclaim your personal power. When a woman treats you disrespectfully or minimizes your feelings, it may seem as though she has the final say about your value, but in actuality, you are unwittingly giving up your personal power to her. This is more important than it may seem, because it means that you are letting her control your emotions, decisions, and ultimately your life. In Stoicism, the exact opposite of what we strive for. Stoic philosophy teaches us to remain in control of our own minds and actions, regardless of the external circumstances. The pivotal moment occurs when you decide to reclaim what has always been yours, your power over your own life. To do this, you must first comprehend a fundamental Stoic belief. Nobody has the authority to diminish your dignity or behave in a way that makes you less deserving of respect. Renowned Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius tells us that we control our thoughts, not external circumstances. When you come to terms with this, you realize that her disrespect is just an outside event, and that it won't affect your actual value unless you let it take back control of your life. You need to set clear boundaries and reassess your priorities so that she can't control your behavior. In particular, you don't have anything to prove to someone who doesn't recognize your worth. The important thing to keep in mind in this situation is your inherent value, which is firmly ingrained in your identity as Epicus and is independent of other people's perceptions. Another Stoic philosopher stated that what matters is how you respond to what happens to you. This is not about being obnoxious or pursuing revenge. Stoicism teaches us to rise above such pettiness. Instead, it's about taking control of your life and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. By focusing on your own growth and well-being, you gain a clearer perspective. You begin to understand that your worth is not defined by her or anyone else, but by the standards you set for yourself. Once you reclaim your personal power, her opinion loses its grip on you. And here's the irony. It's at this very moment that she may start to realize what she's lost. The control she once held over you disappears, leaving her to confront the reality that she no longer has the influence she once took for granted. Here's the crucial point. When you reclaim your personal power, you start to attract people who truly respect and value you for who you are. People who don't need to belittle others to feel important. This is the path to true emotional freedom and the foundation of healthy relationships built on mutual respect. So take the necessary steps. Take back command of your life. Rediscover your self-worth and move on from those who failed to give you the respect you deserve. By doing so, you'll realize that you are always the most important person in this story, and with your personal power restored, you will naturally draw in the respect and admiration that was always rightfully yours. Remember, in the words of Seneca, no one can put a chain around your neck without your permission. If you've made it this far and found this video valuable, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below saying "Reclaim my power" to let us know how this content has resonated with you. Your feedback means a lot and helps us create even more helpful content. Thanks for your support. Now let's continue. Number 4. Move on. Here's a truth rooted deeply in Stoic wisdom. If a woman disrespects you, it often stems from her belief that she holds power over your emotions. She senses your dependency, your willingness to bend to her will, and she uses it to her advantage. This is where you must take responsibility for allowing such a dynamic to persist. In Stoicism, we learn that control over our own minds and actions is paramount. You cannot change how someone else behaves, but you can decide how you respond to break free from this cycle of disrespect. You must show both her and yourself that you are not bound by her whims. You have choices that you are not afraid to exercise too often. Men become emotionally dependent on a woman always available, always waiting, which only reinforces her belief that she can treat you however she pleases. The Stoic course of action in this circumstance is to uphold your moral principles. Make it clear that you want a relationship based on mutual respect, not manipulation. If she continues to act in a way that makes you feel less valuable, don't hesitate to let her go. Instead, focus your energy on finding someone who shares your values and accepts you for who you are. This isn't about playing mind games. It's about taking back control of your life and setting boundaries that honor your self-worth. By leaving a toxic relationship, you convey a powerful message. Imagine a situation where you tell her calmly and confidently that you won't tolerate being treated like an afterthought. You explain that you're serious about finding a meaningful connection, and if she isn't willing to offer the respect you require, you're ready to walk away. This is a powerful moment where the balance shifts, and you are no longer the one begging for her. If she truly cares for you, she will realize that her disrespectful behavior is pushing you away, and that you are ready to move on to someone who truly values you. Attention, now that she realizes you are a man who upholds his moral standards and won't allow himself to be emotionally manipulated. This change in dynamic frequently causes regret, because she realizes that you won't allow herself to be mistreated or controlled. She may also start to realize the real cost of what she is losing, because the respect she previously withheld now becomes something she knows she has to earn. Moving on is not just an act of self-preservation. It's a declaration of your commitment to living by your own standards. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about showing that you honor yourself too much to allow anyone to treat you poorly. Remember, the most important person in this equation is you. You deserve to be with someone who values and appreciates you, not someone who minimizes your worth. The fifth step is to embrace the power of letting go. This may be the hardest, but it's also the most freeing. Don't look back, because the future may contain a relationship that genuinely values who you are. Don't be afraid to let her go. Stoicism teaches us that things beyond our control shouldn't determine our inner peace. The disrespect and disdain you're feeling are often signs that the relationship is over, and hanging on will only cause you more suffering. Fear of being alone or of losing something can cloud your judgment and make it harder for you to perceive the reality that is in front of you. It's time to let go if she's unwilling to offer you what you deserve. Letting go isn't about giving up or appearing weak. Rather, it's a powerful act of strength and self-respect. It shows that you know your own worth and that you deserve better. When you finally let go of the fear that held you captive, that's often when she starts to realize what she's lost. She'll feel the void of your absence, and, if any genuine feelings remained in her, she'll regret the disdain and actions that led to this point. However, remember that the act of letting go is not about making her regret. Rather, it's about reclaiming your own well-being and freeing yourself from a situation that drains your energy and hinders your happiness. In Stoicism, we are taught to focus on what we can control. Behaviors and responses. Letting go gives you back control over your life and emotions. You are no longer captive to the behavior or attitudes of another person. Walking away doesn't mean walking back. Rather, it means moving in the direction of a better version of yourself, so don't allow fear stop you. Letting go might start a fresh, more rewarding chapter in your life by having the guts to let go of things that no longer serve you. You'll discover that life has much more in store for you, but most importantly, never forget that you're never truly alone. By letting go of things that aren't right for you, you're making room for new opportunities, new relationships, and a life that values you for who you really are. The greatest power, ultimately, lies not in making her regret losing you, but in finding the strength to move forward with dignity and self-respect. Number 6. Cultivate a life beyond the relationship. One of the worst mistakes that many men make is to base their entire existence around a relationship, especially when they are faced with disrespect or disdain from a partner. This mindset can lead to a dangerous trap that the Stoics would advise you to avoid at all costs. According to Stoic wisdom, the key to living a fulfilling life is to focus on what is within your control and let go of what is not. By making the relationship the center of your existence, you are ceding your power to someone who no longer values it. This act of self-abandonment undermines your sense of self-worth and strengthens the negative dynamic that is already in place. It is perceived as a weakness by both her and you, more importantly. Take this scenario into consideration. You're an expert craftsman with the ability to make beautiful things, but instead of developing your skills and producing something worthwhile, all of your focus is directed toward fixing a broken instrument that has outlived its usefulness. The same is true for a relationship that has turned into a source of hurt and disrespect. The more you put into it, the more you disregard your own development and potential. The more time you spend on it, the less time you have to build something fresh and worthwhile. Therefore, the Stoic course of action is to focus your energies on improving your own life outside of this problematic relationship. Concentrate on your own growth, whether it's by strengthening your current friendships, pursuing your passions, or increasing your work. Create new relationships and pursue experiences that extend your horizons. By doing this, you show that your fulfillment and happiness are independent of other people's approval. This change in focus not only helps you rebuild your self-esteem, but also sends a strong message. You are not a man who begs for respect. Rather, you are a man who commands respect by leading a life of integrity and purpose. When she realizes that you are no longer acting like a desperate lover holding on to a relationship that doesn't work for you, the dynamics will start to change. But here's the crucial part. The true victory doesn't lie in her regret, but in your own transformation by building a rich and fulfilling life apart from relationships. You will regain the clarity and strength to see what really matters, and you will be ready to move forward with dignity, whether that means giving her another chance or leaving without looking back. Remember that the Stoics teach us that our true power comes from within. By concentrating on the things you can control, such as your actions, growth and mindset, you can break free from the grip of negativity and transform into someone that others naturally respect and admire. Best of all, you won't ever need to beg for respect from anyone again, because you will have earned it by leading a life that is authentically you. The seventh, accept total detachment. Adopting total detachment, a Stoic philosophy-based concept, is one of the most effective tactics against a woman's disdain. When we discuss detachment, we're not just talking about being uncaring. We're talking about developing true emotional independence. This isn't just a strategy, it's a mentality that changes the way you think about the situation and yourself. Let's face it, it can be difficult to be detached, especially when emotions are involved. You may still feel the same way about her, but you have to accept that her actions won't determine your happiness or peace of mind. By adopting a Stoic stance of detachment, you break the cycle of allowing a woman to manipulate your emotions and believe that she has control over you. Imagine a woman who is used to manipulating your emotions and watching you chase after her whenever she withdraws. This gives her a sense of power and a belief that she holds sway over you. The dynamic of the situation shifts, and she loses her influence. My friend suffers a blow to her ego. Detachment is the ability to stay composed and calm under pressure. Behaves, you stop responding to her provocations, and you don't even look to her for validation or acceptance. Instead, you just carry on living your life as though her actions don't matter, and here is where the true power of Stoic detachment lies. Lies by showing that you are unfazed. You communicate that your sense of self-worth is independent of her opinions or actions. Consider the story of the Stoic philosopher Epicurus, who taught that we should focus only on what we can control, our thoughts and actions. By embodying this principle, you show her that her attempts to control or manipulate you are futile. She'll notice that she no longer holds the reins, and this will unsettle her. When a woman realizes that she no longer has the power to sway your emotions, she is forced to reconsider her actions. This newfound indifference on your part compels her to reflect on how she has treated you. She begins to understand that her lack of respect and her games could lead to losing you entirely, a loss she likely didn't anticipate. No one likes to lose something they once took for granted, especially when they realize its value. Too late. Maintaining this Stoic indifference is essential, not just for regaining your dignity, but for earning the respect you deserve. It shows her that you are not her emotional puppet, but a man who understands his value and refuses to be manipulated. When she truly grasps that she has lost you, she may find herself in a position she never expected, trying to win you back. So stand firm in your detachment. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom applied to modern relationships. By mastering yourself, you master. The situation number 8, the power of self-respect. Let your actions and your calm, unbothered demeanor speak louder than words. By doing so, you not only regain control, but also reinforce the respect you command in any relationship. Developing and exhibiting unflinching self-respect in the eyes of Stoicism is the most profound approach to make a lady regret not respecting you. If you've allowed disrespect to seep into your relationship, it's important to understand that this behavior not only speaks to her behaviors, but also says something about your own standards and self-worth. How others treat you is frequently a reflection of how you view and treat yourself. Stoicism tells us that we are in charge of our responses, not other people's deeds. The secret to regaining respect is in how you choose to respond. When you value yourself, you set a standard that others must meet in order to stay in your life. This isn't about being conceited or self-righteous. Rather, it's about realizing your intrinsic worth and refusing to accept anything that diminishes it. Take some time to consider whether your boundaries are clear, firm, and reflect the respect you hold for yourself. For instance, if a woman consistently belittles or manipulates you, a Stoic response would be to address this calmly and directly. You could say something like, "I value our relationship, but I also value myself. The way things are now doesn't align with the respect I have for myself." This straightforward but effective statement clarifies your expectations and places the responsibility for the situation in her lap. By maintaining these standards, you not only command respect from others, but also reinforce your own worth. In the end, respect is a mutual exchange, but it must begin with you. The moment you begin to respect yourself deeply, others have no choice but to respect you too, or risk losing you completely. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, standing firm in your values. The woman often reconsiders her behavior after realizing that she has crossed a line that you will not allow to be crossed again. She may start to see the strength in your resolve and, as a result, regret her actions. Keeping your cool and letting people adjust to the expectations you've set for yourself, choose yourself. This is the most powerful and decisive action you can take. It's a declaration that you recognize your worth and that you will no longer trade your dignity and self-respect for scraps of attention. Choose yourself. We've reached the final point, the most difficult and crucial decision you'll ever make in your journey to reclaim your dignity and self-respect. Prioritize yourself throughout this journey, seeking respect and managing the contempt of others. There's a harsh reality that many are reluctant to face. You shouldn't have to fight so hard to earn someone's respect. By choosing yourself, you unleash the ultimate final blow that lets go of all the toxicity, disrespect, and emotional manipulation that have drained you for so long. You free yourself to be who you are, to pursue what you genuinely deserve, and to refuse to settle for anything less. By choosing yourself, you embark on a new journey where you are the main character and your needs, dreams, and well-being take precedence. Think about Stoic teachings, which remind us that we have the power to control our own reactions rather than those of others. By putting yourself first, you are embracing the Stoic principle of self-governance and choosing to focus on your own actions, thoughts, and self-respect. Imagine this. You have been pouring all of your energy into someone who hardly acknowledges your efforts and expects you to always be there, always waiting. But now that you are shifting your focus and starting to invest that energy back into yourself, you pursue your passions, take care of your well-being, and surround yourself with people who genuinely value you, the dynamic. As we come to the end of this chapter, remember that the respect, dignity, and worth you seek in relationships aren't determined by others' actions, but by how you choose to regard yourself. If there's one lesson to take from today, let it be this. You should never have to struggle for something that should be naturally understood. The person who once disrespected you starts to notice the shift. They realize you're no longer available at their beck and call. They sense the loss of your attention and care. In that moment, they feel regretful because you've shown them that their recognition of your worth is independent of their acknowledgement. Making yourself a priority is the most important choice you can make. When you do that and don't accept anything less than what you deserve, the world around you begins to change. There is no greater triumph than that. People who don't see your worth will drift away, but those who do will come closer. This change starts inside of you, and only you have the capacity to make the decisions that will determine how your life turns out. We've journeyed through a transformative exploration of Stoic wisdom tailored for those who are ready to reclaim their dignity and self-respect in relationships. As we've seen, respect is something that is earned through self-worth and a steadfast commitment to your principles. If you've made it this far and found this video valuable, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below saying, "Put myself first," to let us know how this content has resonated with you. Thank you for your support. Now let's continue. Stoicism is more than just a philosophical idea. It's a useful life lesson that teaches us to control the things we can control, like our actions and attitudes. Keep in mind that the real measure of your value is the strength and respect you give yourself by living by Stoic principles, not the approval of others. If this video touched you, please remember to like and share it so that you can make sure that your relationships are about giving respect to yourself first, not just receiving it. Your participation enables us to reach more people. People who think these lessons might be helpful. Please leave a comment below sharing your thoughts or experiences with the power of Stoicism in relationships. We'd also love to hear how these tactics have improved your life. If you're ready for even more insight, make sure to watch the recommended videos currently playing on your screen. They're carefully chosen to help you better understand and apply Stoic principles in daily life. Thank you for joining us, and remember that the road to respect and self-worth starts with taking one small, decisive step towards realizing your inherent worth. Subscribe to receive updates on our most recent content. Until we meet again, take care of yourself and maintain your composure. Here's to living a life of respect and dignity.